Hi, this is Hidden Stigma. How do you bring up a child to be a responsible adult? Is caning really a perfect solution to disciplining your child? What about what our children are exposed to on social media? How do you control that? Well, I'm glad to tell you, in this episode of Hidden Stigma, we bring you a young group of people, positive parenting and responsible childhood, who are here to share with us how best to bring up a child in the best way possible for them to become a responsible adult. Stay tuned. Hello everyone, welcome to the show. Once again, my name is Migisha Liz, and as you can tell, I'm not alone, I'm with my guests. And let's just start with the introductions. Let me start with my guest on the right.
Yeah. Hello everyone. My name is Rita Karasini.
Okay. And my guest on the left.
Thank you. Bali Kudembe Douglas is my name, and I work with positive parenting and responsible child, POPAC in short.
Okay, thank you for coming through. It's very important to appreciate people when they come through. So, let's start with you. Kansime, what is positive parenting about?
When you look at positive parenting, it much entails a number of things, and mainly it is focusing at having a desired goal by a parent. At the end of it all, it's all about support from the very start of childhood. This is between a parent and those they are parenting, to the very last bit to have a desired citizen of the country at the end of the day.
Wow, an amazing movement. And that brings me to the question. You call it positive parenting. Why not call it good parenting, excellent parenting, nice parenting, all those names? Why did you choose to call it positive parenting? What is it about positive parenting?
Okay, thank you for that question. Many times, the reason why it's called positive parenting, you can be a good parent,
Yes.
but the question will be, you're a good parent, but what kind of parenting style are you using? There are parents who will be very permissive, and they'll tell you they're practicing good parenting. But positive parenting comes with training, nurturing, teaching, and providing the basic needs a child will need. It will even involve sometimes punishing, but how are you punishing? So that is the positive parenting. You come a journey, it's transitional. When you're doing positive parenting, you're doing the best for your child, but not only for him and you and the immediate family, but also for the people that need after.
Oh,
Yeah.
makes a lot of sense now. Now, many people think that positive parenting has really nothing much to do with mental health. What would you kindly throw more light on that? Do you believe that positive parenting and mental health do work hand in hand?
Yeah, many people don't give it a big attention, as they always think positive actually parenting, what they call good, excellent, or bad, does not work hand in hand with mental health. But
Yes.
at the peak of it all, mental health is ideal. It is actually necessary, because at the end of the day, at times we fail to achieve the positivity we fight for, or we aim to achieve, probably because of the mental health factors, or either the promoters or the inhibitors. So at the end of the day, mental health has an impact on parenting. Just like you see, at times, you may do whatever it takes. You may try and teach, train, reward, punish, or do anything. But at the end of the day, if there is a factor that is hindering the progress, probably you may not achieve the positivity you're fighting for. And at times, if we do not alleviate the cases of mental health, or if you're the person parenting, you're not mentally healthy. I mean, you're not emotionally stable, you're not psychologically well, you have a lot of stress, you have everything behind. So chances are minimum that you could achieve the positivity in parenting, just like we said.
Meaning you would both agree that who an adult is today is greatly because of what they went through as a child and how they were brought up.
Yes.
How do you make sure, because you've explained about the training, the punishments, and how do you do that? Douglas, throw more light on that part of what intrigued me the most was the punishment part.
Mm.
How do you punish a child well? Because now, we have grown up in an African society,
Yes.
and we have seen punishment to us
Yes.
is caning.
I know where you're
Yes. So, kindly throw more light. How do you parent? How do you train a child? How do you make sure you punish the child
Sure.
well?
When it comes to parenting,
Yes.
and you want the positivity part of it, sometimes it's very good for a parent to know who you are, self-discovery.
Okay.
Most of the parents in the African society, I think, never had the chance like this generation has had.
Okay.
Thank God that this media has come. We have a lot to our exposure. It will
Okay.
come with the parenting style. We have very many positive parenting styles. Like I told you, there is a parent who will be authoritarian. We shall have a parent who is authoritative. We will have
Authoritarian,
an
authoritative.
Now let me just throw some good light in there.
Yes.
Authoritarian, this is a parent whereby when he tells you or commands you to do something, that's what they want. You have no any objection to whatever they brought about. When they say 8 a.m. everybody should be up, whether you're sick, whether you're what, there's no option. You have no options for saying no or options for explanation. Now when it comes to the authoritative parent, this is a parent who will give reasons for why we are doing whatever we are doing. If the parent is to tell you, okay, after 9 there is no TV, reason why you have to wake up early tomorrow, you have school. You have to wake up tomorrow, you have some chores to do. Do not watch this. Okay, we shall put parental guidance on the internet. No, you know, they limit you on certain things, but they have reasons as to why they limit you to do certain things, and they have reasons as to why they guide you to to a certain extent. They guide, they nurture, and you have reasons. So as this child grows up, a parent helps them to grow, and sometimes they will even leave them to discover certain things for them. But the best of it is good that it is good to have some of even the other parenting styles. There are times when a child is growing up and they will need you to apply the authoritarian somewhere,
Yes, so
not all.
you know that was actually going to be something I was going to ask you
Yeah.
about. Is there a style that is better than the other? But when you come in and you say that there's supposed to be somehow a
You
balance
balance.
between the two.
Though the balance shouldn't be equal. There is a parenting style I want encourage parents to take on.
So which parenting style would that be?
I would believe it's good to be authoritative, and you can be a bit permissive, especially when the child is growing. Reason why? For certain things, remember when the child grows, there are certain things that they're going to discover or find out as they grow. And they will need to learn by situation, not by parents telling them. Take for example, if you see marriages where parents have chosen marriage partners for their children, they are at crossroads.
Sure.
So in times you leave children to discover this as they go on with the values you've added to them. Many times they will be able to weigh between the balance if they're choosing a marriage partner or they're choosing a partner for any relationship.
I
Even
get your
friends.
point.
I'm one kind of guy, if I find a person who is relatively behaving the way I was not brought up even with the values, we may not, we shall be parallel, we cannot connect. Reason why I have values, who instilled them, it were my parents and guardians. So you will find that many times you need to balance it and make sure this child at least is 98% or 80% at least ready for the world.
Now I understand that the parenting styles and the way how they work. So how do you practically, maybe we can later throw more light on that, what are some of those things you would encourage your parent to do to make sure that this child comes out when they're upright and the adult that you expect them to be?
When you look at the adult expect to have, one, parents should keep in mind they are not nurturing these children for themselves. At the end of the day, these children must go to the world. They must get out of the house. So wherever you're parenting a child, wherever you're nurturing, training, bringing up a child, put it in mind, this child is for the nation. It is not your own child, because at the end of the day, if you do not make them understand they should be responsible, then the world will reject them.
Sure.
And once they are rejected by the world, probably they will go into isolation, mental illness will come in, because they will not fit into the society. And so as the parents are taking up the responsibility, they should put it in mind this is not their child after a certain period of time. So they should put in situations that make a child responsible.
Okay.
Children should know how much it takes For example, you find a child is an adolescent, but they cannot even think of saving skills, they can't think of how best to plan or even make a project for themselves. So parents should monitor the child as they grow. So from childhood, yes, they are responsible, they will do the house chores, they will be told to do this, this and this. But then at a certain age, parents should face in a situation, as actually an environment where these children should think. Because at the end of the day, the child's brain keeps on developing.
Sure.
And at a certain stage, if certain things are not learned, chances are minimal that they will learn them. For example, things like welcome back, thank you, appreciating,
the
greeting,
small
the
things.
small things we see there. I'm sorry. These
Yes.
things start from childhood. So as someone grows, if they fail to appreciate them at that earlier age, chances are very minimal. Or even they may not have them at the end of it all.
Okay, wow. I love how you've explained it, how you're not just parenting this child just for you, but for the world. It's not just
For the world.
about
It is not
yes.
your child. It is
Yeah.
only your child. They're helping you here and there, but they have to grow and become children of the nation.
Okay, makes sense. So what we're going to do, we're going to go for a short break, and after the short break, we'll be getting back more and understanding better about parenting and how it works, and making sure your child grows up the best adult ever. Welcome back from the break. We are still talking about positive parenting, and we had shared a number of things, and we are continuing. Now, when she was sharing, she mentioned a lot about mental illness and mental issues. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but of recent, there is an article that went viral. Actually, I think it was on social media. A child committed suicide, and the child is in Uganda. I don't know if you saw it. Yes. Meaning, and when you read the article completely, they have the parent actually it's the child who wrote it, and how the mom neglected him. It's something that is cropping up so much in our society. How do you identify that my child is going through something, and how do you actually help them?
Thank you so much. Of late, mental health issues among the teenagers and children are really increasing. But on one of the ways you can identify that a child has a mental problem, first of all, we talked about self-discovery as a parent. When you discover a parent, many times if you see such cases coming up, now you've mentioned that case of a child who committed suicide, but at a larger extent, I would blame the parent who parented this young man. Many times in this world, anyway, this is a statement I've had. One of my secondary school teachers told me that all people in this world have mental issues, but the degree matters, what kind of degree of mental illness you do have. Many times, if you have a parenting style that really doesn't allow you to get to communicate with your child, to understand the different issues they are going through, to even just listen to what they had during lunch, if you create a gap of no communication among these children, you'll totally disconnect from them. So what really happened is that this young man probably never had somebody they could talk to.
Yes.
This young man probably never had anybody they could share what they were going through. And in many times, it's usually good. That's why among TV programs, I don't know if you see different programs on TV, but they will bring parental guidance, whereby if you're going to view a certain program or you're going to view certain content, there is need for a parent even to give more view, because the TV won't explain. But when you see certain action, I'll give you a good example. One of my friend pastors wrote yesterday, but one, that they were watching news, and they brought about a commercial that talks about taking a drink and you get high sexual libido. And they were saying, when you take it, ofuna waka. It's common on TV. I just don't want to mention which TV, which project, and which company does that. But the parents could not explain that kind of work. So they were demanding, Daddy, could you please help us get that drink so that we also have work? And the parent was wondering, how am I going to explain this? What should I explain work is? So he was trying to concoct, but you see there is good communication. There is parental guidance on whatever is happening or whatever is going on with these young children. So for us parents, let's take time to learn how to communicate and give a listening environment to our children. With that, you'll get to discover that, oh, my child has this. Then the other thing, it comes also again with parenting style. If your parenting style is not that really perfect, you'll find that you'll instill fear in your child, but you'll not instill confidence. Instead of a child being confident to speak and communicate to you, they will always fear. I don't want to tell daddy this. He'll tell you, "Yeah, wait, why disturbing me? I'm stressed. We just need to create that time."
So, meaning that there is need for a parent to keep on revising the way how.
You have to monitor. It's a consistent process. With that, you get to discover that my child has a problem, my child has an issue, my child is not, they're not outgoing, my child is developing, okay, they forget, their memory loses out quickly. It comes with communication and observation, but if you cut the communication and your children are not free with you,
then it won't work
will
out.
contribute to their mental health.
Okay. Now, what about when your child has a mental illness? Now, a mental illness is very different. This is a different case scenario. Many people confuse it for just being a mental health issue. Now, let me say, for example, your child has bipolar. How do you identify that my child has bipolar?
In most cases, for a bipolar is a mental disorder.
Yes.
I mean, everyone is mentally healthy, but then there is a borderline where someone crosses from it being healthy, then probably because of the contributing factors. So when you look at bipolar, mainly it is a mood, it's a mood affecting disorder. So you find it either in two phases. Someone could be on the manic phase where they are so hyperactive. I mean, they're just, in most cases, their mood is always elevated. So you look at the changes in the child's mood. I mean, the child has been behaving this way, but now today, they're just talking at the top of their voices, they're not willing to sleep, they're just, there is that hyperactivity. Activities, I mean, they'll decide to wash the dishes up to, if it is 3, they don't care. Then you may find it switching up to the other depressive side, because it's a two-way traffic.
Yes.
So if it shifts to the depressive side, you'll find this child losing interest in everything. A child who used to go for football is no longer willing to go for football. A child who used to love music, once the self-isolated area, they'll decide to keep in their bedroom, locked there. But since in most cases parents are not having the time, they're not giving their children the time, you find at times the parent is not able to notice the changes in the child's mood.
Yeah.
How they even talk. Some parents will be like, my son always talks, slowly, and that is his way, but at times it is completely retarded, or even they mute.
So meaning it is important to look for maybe what your child is doing differently from what they are used to, because it can be any other mental illness apart from bipolar. But in general, all those mental health illnesses or disorders, like, what exactly would you say, like, this point when you see this happening, go seek help and find out what's happening?
In most cases, just like now, unlike in the past days, parents are leaving much the responsibility to either the house helps, to the aunties. In most cases, they are keeping them home, but then they don't have the time. They tell you, we need the money. They have to go to good school. They have to have good meals. But when you look at mental illness in children, in most cases, many things are affected. One, we talked about their mood. Yes. Their moods will alter depending on what condition is disturbing them, and that will be diagnosed by probably a professional. Then we shall look at their thoughts. You'll have a child, their thoughts have been proper, and then you're watching, wherever I ask this, they're able to respond, you have this, they have this. But then this time round, they can't even think of what is productive the next day, even if they are growing in age, and then you expect them to think abstract.
Yeah.
You'll have changes in behavior. A child who used to be social, a child who used to be loving, welcoming, appreciative, it will be the other way around.
Oh.
So at the end of the day, you see the child planning for you, think maybe he's planning to become an electrician. They're destroying everything in the house, but then you're taking it on a positive wing. Probably they are exercising it. Yes, exercising is okay, but at times it goes beyond what we expect. Yeah. Then you will see them change in their speech. Yes, we know this boy is not talkative, or the girl is not talkative, but then it is becoming, someone spends 2 days without talking, or they'll just come in, welcome back, mommy, welcome back, daddy. They go back to their room. Lack of interest in doing things. Certain age loves doing certain things. So if you find your child is now losing the interest, they are detaching from whatever they used to like, there is a change in They used to like football, but then they are reversing. They no longer like it. They used to like watching, but they no longer like it. So you find the
makes a lot of
isolation
sense.
cases. Someone used to call into the social group. I mean, even their fellow siblings in the house, they no longer want to talk to them or even associate with them.
Okay. No,
so
actually.
you start to think otherwise. You be like, probably there is something wrong with this child.
Now, what if it's the other way around? Now, this time round, it is the parent who has the mental illness. Do you believe that a parent who is going through a mental illness or a mental disorder is capable of raising a child positively?
Yes, we have seen many of these examples of parents. But this comes when a parent also was helped by someone out there. You know, we have very many parents and they'll tell you, this lady has this mental illness, has this mental problem, but they raise children. I have friends I know, I have relatives I know, and I've seen them raise men now who are responsible. But how does this come? It comes when that someone was helped way back, when that parent was helped way back.
So meaning you would say that there are facilities or
Yes.
places that they need to go to for
Yes.
assistance?
Yes.
What are some of those places that you think that they should visit if they really want to
Places that they could visit, we have different psychiatric centers, we have counselors that usually provide this. But I would advise, if you need all this, it's better to first refer to specialists. And I understand my friend over there, Kansime, can give.
Hey, so we just come to
referrals.
positive parenting. Okay.
She can really do.
Hey, okay, we shall come.
Come to Copa. You can really
Yes.
do.
And then,
Give you the different.
to add on to what you said, when you look
Okay.
at a mentally ill parent, whether
Hey.
a mother or father, they have the capability to nurture these children and parent them well. But where is the challenge? One, they have the stigma at a certain point.
The
Then-
stigma, like.
The self-stigma. They don't believe in themselves that they can raise these children.
Yes.
Then the other case is they have the public stigma itself. You're having a child, your mother, all your relatives want to take away these children because you're mentally ill.
That's it.
Yes.
They don't believe in you. So what they need, most of the cases, these mentally ill parents just need to be supported, either by family, by the neighbors. They could have in some relatives who stay with them, because at the end of the day, if these children at a certain age where they are able to understand, to appreciate that really our parent is mentally ill, they could be supportive. So if the parents keep in hiding, I mean, they don't open up. At times when you open up to these children, that is in a certain age where they can understand what exactly you're going through, they will appreciate you. They will not blame you for not probably taking them for shopping or not having provided what they needed, because they will understand.
Yes.
And they will be supportive more than any other person. At the end of the day, these children will be there for you more than any other person.
Now we are in the lockdown period, and man, it has been so many months. We are even losing track of time. Our children are home doing nothing. Lucky are those ones who are having Zoom classes online, but many are not. For example, those ones in the slums, some people can't afford, honestly speaking. It has become a thing now to go on social media and kind of like find some kind of security, look for something online. But the thing is, we don't know what our children are being exposed to online. Anything can happen. I personally know cases where parents open up and say, oh, my child is being exposed to pornography. So how do we as parents or as professionals, how would you advise parents to really come in and be able to protect your child against such things without affecting their education, their learning, because they may be researching?
Yes, thank you for that question. I think being a very long holiday, parents need, I think, to game up. One of the things I believe is to control what content they give to their children. And I believe when it comes to media, the innovators have been very, very kind, that they have put parental guidance controls for most of these things we do view.
Yes.
Be it internet, be it on the television, be it on DSTV. I really love parents to take this up. Try as much as possible to activate parental guidance for those that have access to internet, that have access to media and different gadgets. They are there. If you play around with your phone, if you try to go to people who are technical, they can guide you on that. You know, as we're watching this, any parent would say, can you provide me your number? You can guide me. No, I may not be in position to do that, but you can. This is learned, and different manuals can guide us on how to do that. Number two, we may be having young people out there who are really exposed. I may not be exposed to pornography like you have mentioned some of the examples, but I'll be exposed to a very filthy environment that is tough to my side. Take for example, if I'm in Kimumbasa, I have kids,
Yes.
I'm renting in there, and you know the environment in Kimumbasa.
Yes, the slummy area.
Yeah, you really
Yes.
need, and our sisters who do commercial sex work. So you really need to come up, sit down with your children and tell them the positives and negatives of what they see and what they're exposed to. They will see the good dressing, they will see the money that these people earn or the way they are earning, and they would love also to do the same. But tell them the dangers. Like we said, you have to be an authoritative parent.
Parents, yes.
Tell them the good things, put strict measures, but allow them to know that whatever I'm doing is good or whatever I'm doing is bad. When I grow up, this will affect me. You can go further if they really do understand. Tell them that if I'm exposed to pornography, let's say, I'll get addicted to certain vices. You'll hear parents complaining today, my child does masturbation, my child is attracted to the sisters. These things come up just because the children are exposed.
Yes.
And let's involve them in the work we do. Parents of late do not want to involve their children in the work they do.
How do they actually do that?
In the weekend, you have a farm. Why leave the children at home to enjoy chips, enjoy the juice, and enjoy the cartoons? Carry them on the van, carry them in the vehicle, let them go to the farm, let them help out with picking eggs, let them help out in the backyard gardening. Just get them things that will really keep them trained and keep them busy or engaged. Not only books, you know.
But don't you think that they will somehow get bored? Because now they will start dodging you.
Now, you can't get bored when you're doing something that is really, you know the reason as to why you're doing it. I've seen it, parents who have always been involving their children in work. Today, they are not regretting. You'll find those are the people that do work. I was involved in work when I was on a tender age or at a tender age. But right now, I'm very innovative. I'll always look out for opportunities in whatever I do.
Yes.
I was helped to discover the person I am. So for the parents, if you discover that this child may be good in gardening, well, why bring in a gardener? Involve them, show them how to trim the flowers. You know, when you involve them, they will get busy. They'll have things that will take them. Tell them or let them know that TV has a time. You can't be on TV from morning to evening. These kids are brought food by the helper. The helper takes back the plates. They can't even involved in doing the little chores at home. They have to get involved. Those are the nitty-gritties we need to do. You'll find at workplaces, because these things come back later. You'll find a child who is lazy at work. They tell them, hey, at here we need team players, and everybody will put it on their CV, team player, because they saw someone was putting, all these put it, I'm a team player. But when it comes to actual team playing, they are not team workers. These guys can't be part of a team. These are people who love working alone. Reason why they didn't come up
With that.
they were not nurtured
Yeah.
in that way. So let's involve these children. Let's teach them. This is the time God has brought for the lockdown to instill the required and generally acceptable values in society.
Can say me. What would be the general advice that you would give parents out there? It's tough. It's really tough during this lockdown for very many parents. Generally, how can you advise them? Those ones who have mental ill children, those ones whose children are okay. What's your advice to them?
Yes, my big advice to the parents would be, one, let us put it in mind, these children will no longer be our children with time.
Yes.
So as you're nurturing a child, think about your absentia. It is really traumatizing for a parent to be aging, but their worry is, can really my children survive without me? Don't make these children think without you they cannot survive. So at the end of the day, think about how best with your children make your name remembered in a good way. Because if the children are misbehaved, if the children are not, they're not as assertive as they should be, they're not creative enough, they can't survive without you, everyone will blame the parent. No one will ever think of, probably the society, all the neighbors were not good. Then the other issue is, as we look, for example, in this situation of lockdown, let us make these children our friends. As a parent, if you do not get the confidence of your children, chances are really so high these children will not, they will not have confidence in you, they will not have trust in you. At the end of the day, even if they have issues that are challenging them, even if they're faced with a problem, for example, someone has been assaulted probably by a shamba or anyone, they will have the fear of even standing up to inform you. So parents, let the children be our friends. Let us support those we see with the mental disabilities. Being mentally disabled does not mean you cannot be of help in this country. At the end of the day, we're having people who are mentally ill, but then they are good citizens of the country. So if you ever think if this child is mentally ill, I don't need them in family, we isolate them, we even take them to the villages, we don't want to pay for them school fees or anything. These people can be helped and they can be supported. So as we look at the mentally ill children we have, let us promote the mental health in these ones we are having. Because at the end of the day, if money becomes the threat of the home, or daddy becomes the threat of the home, whoever looks at it, the threat is now back. Everyone will go to their bedroom, everyone will keep away. Chances are minimal these children will even open up. So even if they have a frustrating situation in them, chances are very less they will come to you confidently. Even if they are bothered by the adolescents especially, they are transiting, they are getting relationships, they are being conned by this one, they are now thinking everyone must have a boyfriend, they think I must have a girlfriend, they're engaging in sexual activities very early. They will not tell you, but if they're your friends, a girl child will even come to you and tell you, Mommy, so and so wrote for me this letter, you see. So you will find means of telling them about their life and what exactly are the risks and the benefits of engaging into whatever they're planning to engage to. They'll even come and tell you their plans. You say, Mommy, this holiday I want to make some paper bags, so if you can help me get for me maize flour and maybe that, you'll be their friend, and as you support them, you're actually helping them balance up their brains. They'll develop cognitively, their brains will grow, and they'll become...
Okay, POPAC is Positive Parenting and Responsible Childhood. We are located in Labo, and we do bridge the gap between parents and children, and we help the parents to positively upbring their children, and for the children, we help the parents equip these young people to be forearmed and forewarned. Reason why the world they are going into is not easy. So we've come up with different programs to talk about etiquette. We've come up with different programs to talk about life skills, to talk about job opportunities, and even to talk about parenting and the parenting styles. Parents have their challenges. You may find that your challenges do not enable you to parent well. So we bridge the gap. Reason why? Forewarned parent is a forearmed child. That's what they're for.
Okay, then contacts.
Contacts, you'll get us on mail via popac@gmail.com, popac.org, at gmail.com. And you'll get us by phone. You can call me at 0774-019313, or you can go to Facebook, POPAC, Positive Parenting and Responsible Childhood. Twitter, we are there. You can throw us an inbox, you can contact us, or get to the messages part of it. We can get back to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Kansime, Douglas, for coming in for this amazing episode. You people have also learned a lot. I'm not yet a parent, but I think I'm now officially getting ready to be one. Anyway, it has been an amazing episode. I've learned a lot of things. I hope you have learned a lot of things. And I want to encourage everyone out there, if you haven't yet subscribed to our YouTube channel, please do subscribe. You're missing out. Look at this episode. And of course, follow us on our social media platforms. That's DTN Uganda on Facebook, on Twitter, and Instagram, and Hidden Stigma's personal Facebook page. We discuss about mental health almost every week. So please do follow us, like, and comment. We'd love to hear from you. Please share our content. Let's make mental health go viral everywhere we go. Let's have many people coming on board. Now, until next time, do take care of yourselves. Know that your mental health is very important.